My name is Ben. I once worked in education, but I don't anymore. Some time ago, I mentioned 3 of my beliefs in a diversity and inclusion seminar in the secondary school I was working at. The following day, I lost my job, and I was told I may no longer be allowed to work with children. The beliefs I had expressed were these. I believe that true marriage is a union between a man and a woman, but I acknowledge that the law allows other options. I believe human life starts at conception and should be protected from that moment by law. And finally, this. I'm critical of some aspects of Islam. The following day, I was summoned to the headmaster's office. He said some people were offended by what I'd said the previous day. In the conversation with the headmaster, I admitted to having also these 2 views. I don't believe you can become a different sex by declaring you are a different sex, and that the government should be tougher on illegal immigration. After that, the headmaster told me to leave the school immediately and not to come back. He later said it was because of a safeguarding issue and that he had acted promptly to prevent the risk of harm to the children. Here are some of the typical safeguarding concerns: physical abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse, radicalization, expressing extreme views. The school never specified what the safeguarding issue was. My abrupt and disturbing departure from the school wasn't the last chapter of the story. In the following weeks and months, a number of other people and institutions became involved, and a whole series of upsetting, outrageous, and sometimes just crazy things were to happen. I'm going to tell the whole story, and everything in it will be based on solid evidence provided by the other side. So stay tuned to find out about the school's insinuation that I, a grandson of an anti-Nazi resistance member murdered by the Germans in the war, may be a Nazi sympathizer. The governor's admission of having different standards for Christians and Muslims. Shocking advice for the headmaster from a high-ranking council official. A lawyer's accusation I set the whole thing up for money. The police getting involved. The so-called protected characteristics, which really mean suppressed characteristics when it comes to traditional or Christian values. And much, much more. You'll also find out how some people let me down and went silent, and how others spoke up and have given me hope for the future of this country. And finally, it's about something bigger than my case. It's about the direction the country is going. It's about the cause of freedom of speech, or to put it more simply, the cause of common sense and freedom itself. I came to Britain 20 years ago, and it became my adopted country. One of my children grew up here, and I don't want my child to live in a country that reminds me in some ways of communist Poland, where I grew up. A place where you're afraid to say what's common sense, a place where you get into trouble for telling the truth. So stay tuned and see you soon. If you can support me in making this documentary or help me with the legal costs of my appeal, click the link below.